Hey folks, Kozzi here with this Stonescar deck that's caused me quite a bit of consternation in the build. I keep going back and forth looking over, seeing what I can change, but I feel as though it might be in for a penny, in for a pound, and these problems were probably better off solved in the draft. Either way, I'm looking forward to getting into a match and actually seeing how it performs, getting a better sense of the dynamics of the deck, see whether my concerns are founded. So yeah, let's get straight into it. This hand is curious. We're on the play, so I think that this is too late to come down. So I think we need to ship it back and look for something that can both cast a 1 or a 2 drop and has a 1 or 2 drop in it that's worth casting. Yeah, this hand's a definite upgrade. We've got a piece of interaction, we've got a 2 drop, we've got 2 of the most expensive cards in our deck, which is a little bit of a shame. 3 of the most expensive cards in our deck. But at least we got some early action, so we've got, if we draw cheap creatures, we're reasonably happy. And 4 of the most expensive cards in our deck. And if we draw some power, then we've got something to do with it. So this looks like a 3-color base time deck. Probably splashing for some neat toys. I saw an Echo card before whilst I was having a chat, so I'm curious as to what that means. I feel as though I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Part of what I want to do with this deck is to trade off resources so I can get value out of the smuggler's stash. This probably is one of my worst 2 drops, but by the same token I've got nothing else going once it dies, and so I don't really want to use my best removal on it. Perhaps I just keep it back and just accept the fact that I'm on the defense until further notice, especially as if I draw another 2 sigils, I can kill this with the quick draw revolver. Yeah, I think that's what we've got to do with this deck. It's an ugly decision when playing fire to sit back, but blech. Yeah, that's I don't want to be trading in right now, especially for something as weak as that. Alright, so that's a problem card that we need to deal with. She's going to help me deal with it quite a bit. We've unfortunately missed out on our opportunity to attack in. So it could be argued that I was better off staying back. But this offers up a double block that's profitable for me. I trade my 2 drop for the 4 drop. I don't much want to trade there. I can still kill it if I get the runic revolver. Do I want to take the extra 3? Not really. Okay, I think we just trade here. I don't want to be using my torch on something like this. Alright, we want to see a power. That's not a power. I can either keep developing with the Stonescar Magus, or I can hold up my torch to deal with this Serpent Trainer. Serpent Trainer is quite frustrating because it's going to be creating a lot of value, and it'll be a long time before I can hold up Runic Revolver as well as my torch. We're beginning to get to the point where we're just not using our power efficiently at all because I've just drawn so much of my expensive cards in this deck. So now, okay, I think I have to use my torch here. Now the next question is, do I want to wait for his turn? He could get greedy and put the extra ornamental dagger on it. Or he could get something that increases its power beyond 3, so I just don't think it's worth the risk of waiting here. Alright, another Echo card. So we know the first one that we saw is one more dagger that he's got. This isn't going well. Okay, fortunately he manages to draw one of the more useless cards in my deck, so I'm happy at that. And this is the point where the Runic Revolver doesn't help us too much. Flame Blast is probably better safe for his most impressive creatures, so I think we just want to keep developing here. See if we can get some more useful creatures into the yard so the Smuggler's Stash is useful. I think I'm happy to trade here. So he dies, gives the -2 over. It may be that he has a Dread return, but if that's what he returns, I'm not too unhappy. And so yeah, this is when the Runic Revolver is going to begin to come into its own. And we'll definitely stay back. So what am I hoping for now? If I get one more power, I can use the Maul. The Maul will be phenomenal against this guy, because he'll still have 2 power left. I can use my Flame Blast here. Ideally, I'd prefer to have a 2-drop as well to help out. He has the potential to become a real problem, and I think what I want to do right now or I could play the Maul knowing that it will turn on, but yeah, I need to deal with this guy, and I think the only way I can actually effectively deal with him is through the Flame Blast. I definitely don't want to be combusting to kill him. That's what I want to do if and when I can find my assembly. And if we can stop him from playing things thanks to the Runic Revolver so we can find a bit of breathing room, then I think we'll be doing okay. Yeah, I'm not too unhappy at that, to be honest. I think now's the chance for me to play my Maul, although if he blocks, because I won't necessarily want to attack. No, I want to be playing my Maul here. It allows me to attack in, I'll get damage over the top. If need be next turn we can use it to kill the Slumbering Stone. If he attacks in, then we can get it back with the stash. And that's our inevitability train. The one thing that will stop me here is if he has a Lightning Strike. I could choose to test it here by attacking, but then I leave myself vulnerable. Or I could choose to test it by attacking. He'll block, he'll get a 2-2. I play my assembly line. And then I have the Combust available. Actually, no, I think I'm overplaying it. I think if... oh, jeez. Okay, that's not too bad, because I think I still do 6 damage to him, don't I? Yeah, that's good. And yes, he'll be able to recast it. It's got its infiltrate back on, but we have answers, so I'm not too unhappy there. So now, it's not the end of the world me losing this, because I'll be getting it back. So I could attack, it will do 3 damage over. We could attack here, and then I'm not really caring so much if he makes a 2-2. Play my assembly line, and that allows me to hold up both my Combust and my Burnout. Burnout is actually nice, it's got Overwhelm at the moment, but I can't quite afford it. Unless I just play assembly line and stay back. I could choose to hit the Slumbering Stone. That'll create 2-2 flyer. He'll attack in for 1, and I can chump block with one of my assembly or double block. I'm not super interested in the double block. And that should leave it up for a Burnout to be available for next turn. Or I could just assembly and combust 1 to kill it. Attack for 3. Yeah, okay. I think that's the play. Yeah, if he blocks, it makes the 2/2, which I can then kill with my weapon. I think we may be getting in here. We may have just about gotten away with it. So, I can either burn out now, do the 1 damage over, I could attack, he'll probably choose to block, that'll get him down to 1, and then burn out. I think we just attack with everyone. Sure, so we let that go through. I could play around Lightning Strike here, but as I've seen Echo from him, I want to make sure that if he drops 2 creatures, I can attack in. And yeah, we got there. Alright, that was an interesting game. I felt like I lost a lot of tempo early on, and that I was in strife, but the power of my weapon coupled with a couple of nice draws with those sacrifice creatures got us home. And I was very lucky when he got in with his infiltrate that he got the worst creature in my deck. There could have been a lot of creatures that he could have gotten in there that would have made my life an awful lot harder. But alright, we're off the duck, which is better than the last draft that I showed. Oh no, the one before it, the Feln infiltrate that just went abysmally. But yeah, opponent's deck didn't seem super powerful, or at least they didn't see the most powerful parts of their deck against me. This hand's interesting. We can do some nice things once we get to 3, but it's all very reactive. I'm okay being reactive, being on the play, because I just want to stop his beatdown. But this feels a bit too reactive, even though this could be very powerful. And if I don't draw a second sigil, I've got nothing going. Yeah, I think we need to ship it. One of the real strengths of this deck is having the pair of torches. I think that it makes hands like this that would ordinarily look way too slow seem quite reasonable. Doesn't seem amazing, but seems reasonable. And I should have been a little bit faster on the spacebar there, so I didn't give away quite as much information about my torch. Well, that awakened student has the torch's name on it right now. Hopefully he doesn't have the ability to give it Aegis. And so now we have the choice between the Desperado and the Sharpshooter. I think I want to be playing Desperado because next turn if he plays a blocker I can exhaust it and get in the free kill with the Desperado. And so thanks to that torch, I think this tempo's been shifted. I should now be on the beatdown unless he has something truly surprising. He could have an ambush creature. If he has an ambush creature, it's probably the 2/1 Silencer, which creates a trade there. If he has the Silencer, I'm not getting better value out of the Desperado regardless, so I think we attack in and make sure that he can't silence the Sharpshooter. He wants to get the opportunity to Silencer. I want to continue developing the board and keep this back for whatever creature comes next, so yeah. I think we just let him ambush in his guy. It's not worth, especially when I'm flooded, it's not worth taking or stopping the development of my board for it. Interesting that he didn't want to trade. Okay, now I understand why he didn't want to trade. So it's unfortunate that you got the 3 Warcry in, although I think we're still winning this race currently. But flooding out isn't helping us at all here. We need to find some gas pretty fast. Okay. So if we get 6 in, we currently have him on a 3-turn clock. He currently has me on a 3-turn clock, assuming he plays nothing extra. I think we do keep attacking. The Steward of the Past will represent a very good blocker against him. I think things that could punish me is that equipment that gives a creature flying. Okay, so now this is an interesting point. If I attack in, I'm offering up a chump attacker to get 6 damage, which isn't quite enough to represent lethal. Well, it represents lethal unless he plays a second blocker. If I play this guy, he's going to have to attack next turn, so unless I get equipment to help him out, I'm going to be in trouble. But if my opponent had a creature, he would have played it. So we're then putting him on the top deck and making sure the top deck has 4 toughness or greater, which is plausible in Combrei colors. And I don't really want to sacrifice this because I do have equipments with quick draw and just things to beat her up in general. So I think what I want to do is just play this. It means that I'm not representing lethal next turn, but it's the more conservative play. If he doesn't have a creature, then my chump attack will be a lot more devastating for him. I kind of wish I had more options in my hand, but... Okay, so that's the Warcry unit. Now if I attack with everybody, I get 6 damage in, and if he doesn't have anything else, I can sacrifice my unit to do lethal. That's a fast spell, yes. And we just sacrifice whichever one that 5/5 blocks, just in case. Ooh, and we get there. I don't know, perhaps I know nothing about draft. I felt like this deck was rubbish. But it's been performing, and it's been performing against decks that just haven't been profoundly screwed either. Like, we got flooded, they had a reasonable curve. I want to just take the opportunity to prove a little point here. Hang on a sec, I need to open up the RNG website before returning to it. And look at the value of Combust and talk about the nature of pick lists. Because, as we've seen in both games here, Combust has been an all-star for us. But one of the interesting things, and I'll switch it over now that the computer should be able to see it. No, not picking it up. Alrighty. What we'll do is I'll just quickly fix this up now. So this will just take a moment. But I really want to make the point on this because I think it's actually quite important. Okay, sorry about doing this on the fly. At least now you can see part of the process of how this is done. So, we want to go into the pick list and we want to look up Combust. And what you'll find is, oh, they've actually ranked it up. It used to be right down in the D tier, but they've just got this as a solid mid-range card. And as you can see, the Combust actually proved to be a game winner for us. And the reason why is because these pick lists are based around pick one, pack one. As in, if you were to open up a brand new pack, what do you really want? What are you likely to pass and what are you likely to see late? And it is true. I would never first pick a Combust. Or if I did, I'd be profoundly disappointed at how bad the pack is. But once I have a deck and I start to get a sense of what my deck looks like and I want a finisher or a bit of reach, then all of a sudden Combust comes a card that I pick over quite a few others. unfortunately I did the actual draft for this yesterday, so it was a little while and I can't remember what the alternatives were that I had to the combust to pick. But we can see just how much work it's done for us, just how much value it's been able to generate. And if I was to just be looking at the pick list, I'm sure I would have picked a C+ creature or something like that over the top and missed out on this card, which I think if they had one more turn to stabilize, we would have lost. And so, yeah, pick lists are very useful, but they're not everything. You need to be thinking through what your deck wants at the same time as what is a powerful card. And after this, we'll be continuing our series, continuing the series on draft basics, and hopefully we'll be able to explore this concept in a bit more detail. This hand is dubious. The Brazen Daredevil is going to be weak on the play. If we're on the draw, it would have been great. If they're a token deck, then she'll be great. But we have power and spells, and there's too much risk of getting screwed or flooded in this game for me to want to throw this hand back. But I was agonizing, really, over this card during the draft, and these are one of the circumstances that inform why I felt it's such an uncomfortable card to pick at times. They look like they're either in Combre or Elysian colors, which isn't good news for us, because it means that she's going to be very, very poor. Okay, there's Xenon. As they've played little else, I think I will play it now. I can hold the torch up to respond to whatever they can drop. It's worth noting that I am making myself vulnerable to Plague, but she's a dead card in my hand anyway, so even if they 2-for-1 me with Plague, I don't feel as though I've missed out on that much, and all of these are arguments as to why perhaps this isn't the right deck for Brazen Daredevil to be in. Looks like they've had a very slow draw. If I manage to find an equipment for it though, this will swing around entirely. I have a choice between Desperado and Destroyer. Desperado is better if they have a big creature, but if they have a big creature, I'm less likely to be attacking in. And Xenon Destroyer is better for gaining life. Right now I don't need to gain life, so I think my possible bigger upside is the Desperado. Wow, what's your deck doing, mate? Have you just got a whole bunch of 5-drops or something in your hand? Okay. I think we'll develop out with the Ronin as well as the Destroyer here. If they are as flooded as they look, and if they cast something that I can kill with a torch, then I want to be getting representing the fastest clock possible. Yeah, so this is my chance to get in and cause problems. I got a 50-50 shot of getting value out of my Daredevil, which I think will mean achievement unlocked because I wasn't expecting that to be the case at all. And that's unfortunate. It means they can block my Ronin. You want to block my Spider? Okay. I think Pit Lord's relatively new to the game and doesn't quite understand that quick draw only works on attack. Yeah. That's unfortunate, mate. Not the best use of that card. I imagine the Spider might be because he's got the Lumen Defender coming up. Unfortunately for him, the one guy who attacks perfectly into a Lumen Defender is the Steward of the Past. 4-6 versus a 3-5 Deadly is a bad proposition. And it could be argued that we're seeing a little bit of the cost as well, Lumen Shepherd, of playing his Death Strike so early, because the Death Strike could have represented a genuine problem for me. If we attack with everybody, I'm doing 11 damage if he doesn't block one of my 3 powers, and I'm doing 6 damage if he blocks one of my 3s. If he blocks one of my 3s, he'll either block the Steward of the Past and die, or he'll block the Xenon Destroyer and have the option of torching him, but he'll take in 6. Yeah, I think I do just want to kill the blocker. So there's no risk now in attacking with these guys, because he just can't afford to block there at all. That's the wrong 50-50 for me. I wish it would have been around the other way, but beggars can't be choosers. And so let's just double check this. Actually, I can let the damage go through now because it's not going to change any proposition. So if I kill him, he'll need to play a blocker. Unlikely to do much. I think it's about the same. And this way I don't take the risk of him being able to cast the cloak on him and gaining 6 life against me. Oh, I've just gotten his name. It's Pylord. Okay, and 3.14, whatever. He's managed to get the 2 blockers on. Has this punished me? If I'm to attack, he can block, he'll take 3. Yeah, this has punished me for using the torches I did. Well, not much we can do. Need to keep attacking in. That's good news, because if he blocks a 2, he'll be taking 3. This can represent lethal on a 33% chance. And if he doesn't draw a blocker, then it's lethal for sure. He needs to be able to play both his Lumen Shepherd for 6, and he needs to have a 1-drop. Otherwise he's dead. Okay. Oh, that felt a lot closer than it should have been. I definitely think I got punished for using that torch too liberally. Well, there you go, guys. The deck that I didn't like at all is off to a rampaging start. We're undefeated so far at 3-0. It's not even as though my opponents have been screwed or flooded. It's been 3-0 with matches, and the deck has happened to draw the right things at the right time. Yeah, it just goes to show what I know about draft, apparently. Anyway, let's see how it continues on. Perhaps this could be the little deck that could. I've been Kozzi drafting for Pick 1 Pack 1. Thank you for watching so far, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.